Have you ever watched a scene once and it stayed with you the rest of your life? You can quote it, you can see it, the images live somewhere in your subconscious. Scenes like that don't just entertain you, they change the way you see movies. Sometimes they change the way you see the world. That is absolute cinema. So today I want to break down 5 techniques that make the opening scene of The Godfather the greatest opening in American film history. These are techniques I teach my students because if you understand this scene, you understand how to create something that lasts. Let's jump in. Hey, if you're new here, my name is Miguel Parga. I am the best-selling author of What They Didn't Teach You in Film School and Make Your Own Movies. For the last 18 years, I've been teaching filmmakers how to tell stories that matter. And if you want to understand how to open a film properly, how to establish theme, character, power, and tone in one scene, there's no better example than The Godfather. Let's start at the top. You see darkness, then you hear a voice. I believe in America. We hear the line before we see the man. Already, of course, that's intentional. Curiosity first, image second. Then we see Bonacera, the Undertaker, in extreme close-up, and the camera begins a slow, deliberate pull back. Here's what most people miss. The camera move is unmotivated. What does that mean? No one stands up, no one moves, nothing in the blocking really demands it. But something is happening internally. Bonacera starts as a proud man who believes in the American dream. He followed the rules. He trusted the system. But as he speaks, we realize the system failed him. The slow pullback mirrors the emotional unraveling. Unmotivated camera moves are used to express internal movement. Something inside this man is shifting. His pride is eroding. His certainty is collapsing. And the film is telling you what it's about in the first 2 minutes. 2 versions of the American dream. One says, follow the rules. The other one says, power protects. Power comes at a price. Eventually, we cut to Vito Corleone, played by Marlon Brando, in one of the most iconic performances of the 20th century. And before he speaks, he's already acting. As a matter of fact, the reason we have the first cut there is so we can see his reaction to what Bonacera just said. Bonacera has just whispered in his ear what he wants, and we see Brando's reaction to that. The reaction tells us everything. I tell my students this constantly. The actor must be playing the action before they speak. Watch Brando's eyes. He's evaluating, he's offended, he's measuring this man's worth. He's restraining himself. Why? Because this man has just proposed to solve his problem by paying for a service. This is the way he's conducted his entire life. It hasn't worked. It's led him to this. And here he is trying to do it again. Trying to get a result without getting involved, without getting his hands dirty, staying on the outside. But the Godfather is going to teach him a lesson. He's going to teach him how the world really works. Then, Bonacera makes the same mistake again. He offers money one more time. And there, everything changes. The Godfather stands. He moves through the window. The frame opens up, and suddenly we see the room differently. Everyone is tense. Everyone shifts. That's the reason Coppola cuts to the wide shot here. Everybody's reaction tells us how precarious the situation is. The filmmaker is telling you this man is playing with fire. Then something even more powerful happens. The Godfather crosses the 180 line. Most viewers don't consciously clock this, but crossing the line in cinema language signals a major shift in power. It's one of the most powerful things you can do. He's no longer behind the desk. He's above the Undertaker now. Now the scene reveals its true subject. It's not revenge. It's power. Money is irrelevant. What the Don wants is loyalty, submission, friendship on his terms. He can't let Bonacera continue like this because you'll never get the American dream without getting your hands dirty. thought you could, but it's impossible. The Godfather wants Bonacera to bend, to acknowledge that he was wrong. And when Bonacera finally kisses the ring, that's the moment. The physical action represents the collapse of pride. And here's what makes it so significant. You can't film the internal surrender. You have to externalize it. That's the key. On the surface, this scene is about a father seeking justice. Underneath, it's about hierarchy. This is something young filmmakers struggle with. They try to film internal change directly, but film is visual. In a novel, for example, you can write 10 pages about what a character is feeling, what they're thinking. In film, you can't. In cinema, you need behavior. If a character falls in love, what does that look like? Maybe it's a kiss at the prom. The kiss isn't the love, it represents the love. It is something the audience can see. They can't see the person falling in love, but they can see the kiss. In this scene, kissing the ring represents surrender. The moment Bonacera falls, the Don changes. The arm goes around him, tone softens, the deal clarifies. You want justice? It'll come. But someday I may ask you for a service. That service comes later when the Don asks him to prepare his son's body after Sonny has been assassinated. He's asking this undertaker to get involved in a mafia war, however indirectly. That's what he's doing. This is the core idea in the film. The price of power is always collected. You have to get your hands dirty. This idea echoes later with Michael and Enzo the baker at the hospital. Michael learns quickly protection does not come from following the rules, it comes from decisive action. Enzo comes to the hospital with flowers to thank the Don, but that's not enough. He has to get involved. He has to pretend to be one of the Don's bodyguards. He has to risk something, put skin in the game. The American dream demands it. The opening scene plants the idea like a seed. Everything that follows grows from that. Let's talk about the cat. The cat, by the way, wasn't scripted. It was reportedly found on set and handed to Brando by Francis Ford Coppola. That makes it even more amazing. Now, here's why that matters. Actors are warned not to perform with animals or babies. Why? Because the animal and the baby can't lie. And truth is always more interesting than performance. If you're faking it, the audience will watch the animal. So you can be giving the play's final monologue and the audience is staring at the slobbering baby or the dog next to you. The truth is always more interesting than acting. But Brando's not afraid of the cat. He integrates it. When he pets the cat, that's real, it has to be. And watch him, he's playing with the cat. When he's negotiating murder and the rest of the scene, that's imaginary. And he transitions between those realities effortlessly. You cannot tell when he's in the lie or where he's in reality. That's master level acting. A lot of people don't realize how hard this is to do. Stella Adler, his teacher, used to say, the lines are not your friend. Young actors think speaking equals acting, but it doesn't. Listening is acting. Reacting, silence. Watch Brando's pauses. Watch how long he waits before responding. The camera loves subtext, and Brando gives the camera what it loves. The entire movie is inside this scene. A man at his daughter's wedding. Another man seeking justice for his daughter. Family is the emotional hook. Power is the engine. Outside the office, there's a wedding going on. Celebration, light, music. Inside, shadows, hierarchy, murder, negotiations. Two worlds in contrast, one public, one private. Notice that at the end of the scene, before the Don goes back to the party, he smells the flower in his lapel. Small gesture, but it resets him into his public persona. It brings him back to the world of celebration, of light, of family, of happiness. That detail tells you everything about his character. Coppola described the film as Shakespearean, closer to King Lear than modern crime films. This isn't realism like Goodfellas or The Sopranos. This is myth building. A king in his chamber, subjects kneeling before him. The image of Brando in the tuxedo, jaw padded to resemble a bulldog, cat in his lap, that wasn't reality, that was imagination. And in this case, imagination that created an icon, an image that has been emblazoned in the American consciousness forever. The Godfather reshaped our idea of honor, crime, gangsters, family, revenge, offers you can't refuse, loyalty, and style. Think of the times you sat on a chair and crossed your legs and felt like the Don in his throne. You even acted like Brando a little bit. That's an image that's reshaping who you are. The opening scene contains theme, tone, philosophy, power structure, and emotional stakes, all in 6.5 minutes. That's not accidental. That's a masterclass of what a scene should be. If you're writing a film, your opening scene shouldn't just introduce characters. It should introduce belief. What does your story say about the world? Who has power? What does it cost? What must someone surrender to get it? Answer those questions early, visually, and your audience will follow you anywhere. That's what The Godfather does, and that's why it endures. If this breakdown helped, smash the like button and subscribe. It helps the channel grow. And remember, don't just direct your movies, direct your life.